Guys, hi, this is Jen from ScanNCut Jam Sessions, and I'm so excited for you that you're watching this. This is, it's called Aura Mask, and it's a stencil vinyl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be cutting out a stencil with my ScanNCut, and I'm going to put it on this 11 by 14 glass. And first what you want to do is you want to make sure that this glass is clean and free from any gunky stuff. Okay? So just go ahead and get your glass all clean. Okay, so what I did is I went ahead and saved my pattern. And I'm going to pull it up in here. Where did it go? This is what takes me the longest, is finding the dadgum patterns. Okay, so here's the pattern up on my screen. Okay, so everything looks good. It's right where it's supposed to be. But because I need to figure out how deep to set my blade, I am going to do a test cut. Okay, so even though this is really thick stencil material, it's adhesive on the back. I did a test cut, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here. This is my second one. My first one, I put the blade depth at 2.5. It went all the way through the white backing even, and I don't really want that. I guess because this is a stencil, it would be okay, but I would prefer that not to happen. So I raised it up to 1.5, and I just did this little test cut, and it come out perfectly. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and find our pattern again. Maybe this time I won't blast past it. Okay, nope, that's not it. This one is. Okay, so I'm going to move all of this. And we can union that so that I can move this. Move it up as far so that I'm not wasting a lot of material. Okay. Cut and start. And there we go. And I will show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so it came out perfect. So now what I need to do is I need to go in here and weed out these little pieces that I do not want. Okay, so you just go through and start pulling it out. In here there's not very much because this is a simple design I bought from I think it's one of the hunting sites. My family's a bunch of outdoors people. Okay, so I think that's all that needs to be weeded out. Yep. Alright, so I will come back after I get it all set up. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like when I lay it on this glass. And I don't know if you've seen, I use some cheater tape to help hold it down. Okay. Now the tough stuff begins. I'm going to use... Oh, here, let me get this. I have stuff stuck all over me. I just about forgot this. Okay. So here I am putting this stuff on top so that I can get a good clean transfer. And I really don't care what this top part looks like. Just kind of smooth it on there. It might be a little lumpy, a little rolly. That's not that important. Alright. What is important though is that you get all of the designs. And this is just that clear contact paper that I use. Alright. Okay, so now I have it all on there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start peeling this up. And as you see, it sticks right with it. I'm going to have to lift this up. And just go real slow because you don't want to rip any part of your design. See this scraper? Y'all need to get a scraper like this because I use it for everything. picking this up for squishing my vinyl down. Just gotta make sure everything comes with it. Little tiny gill slits, the eyes, everything. Alright, so I pitched that because I taped this down to this side over here so that it wouldn't move on me. So now I know exactly where to place it. And just kind of go lightly, start smoothing it all out. Because you can have wrinkles in your clear top part, but you do not want wrinkles in your blue stencil part, because when you go to put the etching cream on there, it'll get under there and it'll just look gross. It won't look very nice. Alright, so I'm going to finish smoothing this down and get it off, and I'll be back. Okay, so here it all is, all stuck down and all de-aired around the edges. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on some gloves, because I use an Armor Etch, and it is an acid-based thing, so if you touch it, you want to make sure that you have gloves on. So let's go ahead and get all this stuff set up. Bring out our Armor Etch. I keep it in a plastic bag just in case it decides it wants to leak on me. Most of the things I own do. Okay. Open it up, and then I have a sponge brush that I use to do all of my etching. Ugh, stink. Ugh. Okay, so you go through and only get it on the glass that you want etched. Do not get it on the outside pieces. And you're just going to go through and you're going to start putting it all over the place. And just be really careful around the edges. That's why I try to leave a little bit of extra material so that I don't worry about getting it on the sides. But then again, if you did, you know, there's always ways to fix that. You can put a photo mat down. You can paint, or you know, write on it, because I have the Sharpie, the oil-based Sharpie markers. Those are nice, because I was writing in my one post that I use those instead of using lots of extra vinyl. It saves cost, and you cannot tell the difference unless you get right up close and look at it, but still you really can't tell the difference. Okay. Try to make sure there's a good layer. And just keep on going. Alright, looks like I am done with this. So I'm going to leave it sit here for just a tiny bit before I go wash it off. And when I come back next time, it'll be done. Okay, and here is the final result. It looks perfect. Just be careful when you're handling glass to not cut yourself. I slipped and it got me. But this is how you do it. Just be really careful though, because like I said, it is acid, and if you have lower quality glass, you may want to leave it on there a little longer than, like, I think it says 3 to 5 minutes on here. Yeah, so if you have a glass, like this was a picture frame from the dollar store. Dang, it's bleeding. And I just took the glass out of it and started frosting it. And in some spots it looks like it didn't take too well, but this is going to be okay because it's going to go, the background is going to be camouflage paper. So it doesn't really need to be perfect. And I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about. Like right there on the duck's beak, you can see just a little bit. It looks like it's not done real well. But it still looks perfect to me, so I'm going to frame this up. Okay, so now I'll show you how to lay this down. This is just that same kind of contact paper. So it's really, actually really easy to lay down. You just have to be careful so that you don't get wrinkles, because it will crease and it doesn't look very good with a crease. But then again, this one's camo, so you couldn't even really tell if it was creased. But what I do is I just lay it down and peel, because the backing is still attached, peel the backing off as I go. And I just work my way across. Ever so slowly. And there's some humps in this board that I'm putting it on, this picture backboard. I don't want to go through it, so we'll just go up over that. And if you see when I do this, it actually separates itself from the backing paper, which is really nice. Okay, so that's how you do vinyl and etching. Thanks, guys.